Hello all. So it will come as no surprise to those of you who have been listening to our podcast and watching our channel that Rex and I have both been interested in Chain of Command, as well as some other Too Fat Lardies rule sets, also Sharps practice predominantly. And after some recent online conversation and exchange of emails with Richard Clark, and my recent visit to the UK and Ireland, I was most fortunate to be invited to Lard Island, which those you don't know is the HQ of Too Fat Lardies. And I was very fortunate to be invited there as a guest to enjoy an introductory game of Chain of Command with Rich. So it was that I found myself in the company of greatness on a beautiful autumn day in the lower levels of Lard Island, overlooking the Zen Gardens of Contemplation, which was a perfect setting and the perfect tutor for my first ever game of Chain of Command. So look on, and what you can see is the results of a fantastic day with Rich. Alright, well here I am at Lard Island with Rich. Say hello, Rich.
Hello.
And I'm being taken through my paces here, so on this beautiful table. Tell us quickly about the scenario, Rich.
Bénouville, 6th of June 1944. If you look to your right, you'll go down that main road and then you'll turn right and that will take you down to Pegasus Bridge. So this is where the parachute regiment have come in and relieved the Ox and Bucks on Pegasus Bridge to allow John Howard to sit in his deck chair and do his knitting, while the 7 Para take up the heavy loading, heavy lifting, and they've come in here and they're looking to fend off a German counterattack. And the Germans are not just angry, they're livid. And they're coming to get you. And you've got the responsibility of holding them off. So you are taking the role here of the guy who played Major John Howard in The Longest Day. The actor's name has completely gone out of my mind. I can't remember it. But he was here with 7 Para on the day.
All right, well, fantastic lead-in, and I feel very honoured to be here and to getting a hands-on tutorial. Right, go for it, Rich. Give us an update about where everything's at.
Okay, well, much to my annoyance, you've just knocked out my main huge armour support vehicle, which is a little recce half-track with a 20mm cannon, with 2 rounds from the pier, which was impressive shooting from quite a distance. You know, it's firing away there at about I don't know, 60, 70 yards and hit twice. And
between the baguettes.
Between the baguettes
and the boulangerie down there.
Which is good. Now, I actually have now started moving a machine gun team around here to try and take up position in the road and dominate that. But maybe I'm wasting my time because your pit team's done its job and has moved off. But over here I'm doing a bit better. I've got a squad which is moved round here, which has advanced round from this yard across and is going through the allotments round the back of the garages.
Yep.
And we kind of got the jump on you because you moved a section over here from the boulangerie to take up position covering this area, but we just managed to get round. And I'm hoping these guys are going to do something interesting now because I've just rolled to have a second phase on the trot. So I'm going to start here by trying to put a bit of pressure on you to force you to deploy your troops, because at the moment what's really worrying me is that you have got all the aces up your sleeve. I don't know where your men are. I know where one of your sections is and a pit team, but you've still got two whole sections. You've got snipers who aren't on the table yet, and I really want to force your hand to make you deploy some of your troops on the table so I can then outmaneuver you. I can't outmaneuver you on an empty battlefield.
Yep, and to be honest, the way you're heading down the back there, I'm going to have to do something fairly shortly to get in some blocking manoeuvre.
Yeah, especially as I've just rolled for a second phase, so I'm going to really put the pressure on you now and make you lose.
All right, let's see how it goes.
Either that or fail miserably and lose myself.
All right, well, let's join us back in a minute and see how badly Dan's doing. See you soon, folks.
We brought our senior leader on, and he brought on another squad here because we dragged forward our jump-off point by using a full chain of command dice. I thought this is great because this I had decided was going to be my main focus, my main point of attack. So we brought forward another squad, put them on overwatch, anticipating you deploying troops out of the big building here and taking on my guys here in the road. Because then I thought, well, I've got potentially 2 to 1. But you did the clever thing. You used your chain of command dice to ambush with a Bren team from here, which put a lot of pressure on there. And he brought a sniper on from back here, further deep, who then put another couple of points of shock on. And that
all of which are beautifully prompted by you, of course.
Well, just going through the learning stages of the game, which I then was obliged to. The junior leader here tried to get his men to cross the hedge, and they wouldn't do it. The shock on there meant they rolled really badly, and they were just floundering in the road. So fortunately I had the next phase, and the senior leader was able to rally them up and get them to move into this orchard with the help of the junior leader. But that used loads of my command resources, and I'm at the stage here where it's really touch and go, because you are starting to react. Your paras there are streaming out of that edge of town, now recognising where my Schwerpunkt is. They understand exactly where the main point of attack is, and then moving to block my potential threat. So it's still touch and go though.
Yep. And you've got squad back here that you're considering what to do with that. You've got a plan for them coming up?
I haven't really got a plan for them. The problem is they were there initially. I was really pleased with their initial positioning there because they could dominate this area here with their potential fields of fire. But obviously you're not stupid enough to start dancing in the streets when you know I've got guys up here. So they've really sat there all game not achieving very much. To cover my initial advance, I was very happy to have them there. But now that initial advance has gone on, these guys have almost been left behind, and they're having to use their own initiative to push themselves forward. So what I'm doing with them, I'm not entirely sure. I've got them moving downstairs, and we'll see where they go next. As for my MG42 over here, tripod mount in the builder's yard, well, I think it's long forgotten. I think the platoon commander would have been a lot happier having it right up the front where he is now, rather than 5 foot back on the table. But it's interesting game, still all to play for.
All right, well, we'll see what mistakes I can possibly manage to conjure up now to give you a much easier time of it. Right, thanks, Rich. I'll join us back again for another round up in a minute. Alright, so here we are back a couple of phases later. What we had is the German squad that was around here by the petrol Bowsers came around the corner, threw Handgranaten, charged into the British paras that were there, which incidentally is not that unit that's there, because they thoroughly walloped them, including the sergeant getting knocked down over there. They then proceeded to bug out up the roads and be found to be loitering around the area of the public urinal in the centre of the road, leaving their good sergeant to absolutely no first aid, and the Germans be holding that roadblock and the defences there. However, thanks to Rich's fantastic prompting, some lovely hand grenades covering fire by the Bren from the red shuttered building there. The airborne charged out the bottom there, and the 2 rifle teams went out into the street with a senior leader, fixed bayonets, and promptly managed to beat up and destroy the German unit that was there, who fled into the distance, and our good sergeant is looking like he's actually going to get some first aid there now. So we'll carry on and we'll see what's going on. I'm managing to thoroughly baffle the odds of all sorts of probability by my dice rolling here. Rich's having great fun. Last seen bemoaning the luck of his dice in this room, and I can tell you, I think he's deliberately left them out so I could roll them. But great times here, and join us back in a minute. Alright, well that's the end of the game, and fantastically played by Rich for both armies. Anything I did right was pretty much coached by by Rich, of course, and he's thoroughly outplayed me, but in so doing has taught me so much. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. This beautiful table, fantastic to see some of the terrain which you see on Lard TV and all these places, and having the pleasure of playing on it. It's absolutely beautiful table to play on. Absolutely a privilege to play with the man himself, and he's laughing in the background there. The dice deserted me. My skills were non-existent, but I've absolutely learned a lot more than I even could have hoped before I came here. And there's the German section running off towards Pegasus Bridge, the victors. But my force morale had taken a massive rollicking as well. Those guys there, I think, only just managed to get out of the building and come over here and do a final appearance on stage there. So, Rich, tell us about it. How did it all go? According to your plan?
Well, I don't think I really had a plan, to be honest with you. It's one of those things that I feel that is important in Chain of Command, is that sense of an empty battlefield. So what I did initially was bring on a squad to provide a base of fire, and then brought on another squad to really try and push its way through and force you to make some kind of deployment. And my hope was that you would deploy enough forces so that I could then go and deploy where you weren't, and that would allow me to put pressure on you elsewhere. In the end, it was a case of seizing the initiative, having advanced down the table and dragging forward that jump-off point and being able to put the pressure on and really keep maintaining the pressure. What I was really worried about was that we were going to run out of petrol, get a bit of inertia happening, give you an opportunity to settle your men in those buildings who are going to create an effective blocking line. But I took a couple of opportunities. I used my chain of command dice for a key interrupt where I thought my guys were going to get shot down like dogs, and that really just paid off for me in the end. But it was really close, and hopefully a fun and good learning experience for you new to the rules.
All right, well, Rich, thanks very much. That was a fantastic game, beautiful table, as I said. Real privilege to be here. So on behalf of Rex and myself, I gave you those gifts, and thank you very much for the gifts you've given us. That's very generous of you.
Great, yeah, and likewise, very kind of you. Thank you. It was really good of you. And they will grace the walls here in the office here at Lard Island. So that will be fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thanks very much again for thoroughly trouncing me, but I learnt so much in it. I wouldn't say I trounced you. I'd say I just managed to slip the ball over the line in the 79th minute, and the clock went red. So that was it for me. But. Okay, yeah, you're too kind. You're too kind. But there's some fantastic things I learnt during this game. So it's one thing learning the rules in preparation to play your first game of it, and I can't convey it in my little summaries there, but I really wanted to say how impressed I am as a soldier, a bit of a career soldier, that the game itself, to me, I know it's not supposed to be a historical simulation, but the way you get rewarded by doing stuff in a historical way is fantastic. And at times I felt like it was like a immensely enjoyable toot almost, but I've had little instead of map markers or something like that, I've had troops on the battlefield, and I've had a fantastic laugh doing it, and I thought that was absolute credit to the game, and I'm so looking forward to playing it more. Well,
that's very kind of you to say so. And one of the things that really interests me is to examine the way troops fight in reality, and the relationship between the men and their leaders. And that's one of the things we've attempted to develop in the game, and to try and create plausible and realistic command options. When to chuck the grenades and go in behind it, or when to create a base of fire and stand off, and when to deploy your forces in the face of the enemy, and when to just sit back and wait for the enemy to put themselves where they're threatening you, but they're also in a situation where you can hit them hard. So all those things we're informed by the way things work in reality and history, and hopefully we've kind of encapsulated some of that in a game that's also fun to play, because I think that's key. One of the things about a war game is, yes, there's got to be an element of simulation of war in there because it's a war game. Otherwise, it would just be a game with military soldiers, toy soldiers. But hopefully, what we've achieved is making it fun as well as plausible.
Yep. And that really does make you think, as a as a commander of real soldiers. It really did make me think, and it's no wonder that you're getting involved in the British Army sort of way they're thinking about Kriegspiel and war games and stuff like that as well. So, on behalf of myself and anyone who's enjoying playing war games, be it on an amateur level, just pushing around having fun, but also those of us who play war games to I guess with the end result to keeping their men safe and bringing them home alive. So thanks very much again.
Yeah, great pleasure.
Fantastic.
Cheers. Well, thanks very much for making the effort to come in all this way. It's we're a long way from home, so it's great to have the opportunity to meet up and get a game in. So hopefully you'll be taking it back to the other side of the world and enjoying it there.
I will be.
Good man.
Thanks again.
Cheers. Thanks.
Hey everybody. Hope you enjoyed watching that as much as I did playing it. It was a real honour to be invited to Lard HQ, and fantastic game, fantastic night with Rich as well. We ensured we debriefed each other in the bar afterwards over a couple of quiet ones, as every good wargamer should. You'll be able to see as this voiceover goes on, the black and white prints which Rex and I gave to Rich for the gaming room there at Lard Island HQ. That's our grandfather's battalion, the 22nd Battalion, in action on Crete against the German Fallschirmjäger. So both Rex and I are really looking forward to getting to grips with Chain of Command more. For those who are bolt action aficionados, please do not despair. We're not leaving that game system behind. You'll see much more of that on here, but we are looking forward to adding Chain of Command as another string to our bow. We're really looking forward to playing more Too Fat Lardies games in the future. As you know, I'm already looking forward to playing Sharps Practice as well. Thanks for watching again, and join us for more videos in the future.